Everybody get a good night's sleep last night? Feel rested today after staying up half the night watching that seventh game of the World Series? That World Series is over now. That whole playoff postseason really takes the starch out of you, and all those games are at 8 o'clock for whatever reason. I don't know. But it just feels good to get back in a regular sleep schedule. And BTW, I instructed our lecturer this evening, Vince, to wear his Nats jersey up here. That was by my order, direct order. He is a huge Nats fan and took me to a Nats game this summer. So the home team won, and it felt so good to watch them celebrating on the field in exultation. It's a childhood dream of every boy to win the World Series, to do what they're doing. The elite, the rarefied air, those 25 guys got to run out there and celebrate. Of all the baseball players every year, so very, very, very few get to experience this exhilaration. And to see them doing it and just in total euphoric joy is inspiring. You know, you just can't help but get a little smile on your face seeing them jumping around, throwing their hats, and I can't help but think of it in the context of this Feast of All Saints. Is that stadium up there we're trying to get to, this game we're playing. This isn't just some World Series. This is the Universal Series. This is the Eternal Series. The stakes are far higher. Because I don't know about you, but I have a little bit of a letdown. I mean, there's always a little like hangover, from the World Series. It's like it was great, but it's over. The banner at the bottom of the screen on ESPN, Nationals win World Series, gone. It's gone. And, they're having their big parade tomorrow. They're coming back, and then they're going to go home Saturday night, and their wife's going to be mad at them about something. I mean, it's like life goes on. It's like Salzburg, or what's his name, Strasburg. Strasburg is the MVP. I watched him get the trophy, and more importantly, that Corvette. He gets handed the keys to this Corvette. Awesome. Yeah, I was jealous. I'm like, man, that is a super car, and he just got handed the keys. Wait till he gets his insurance bill. Wait till he goes to the dealership to get the maintenance done on it and sees the bill. It's just, I want to just cut it down to size and put it in context, that's all. It's exhilarating watching the World Series. I loved it this year. Incredible playoff run. No one thought in a million years, the 19-31, 12 games below 500, that deep into the season, almost a third of the way into the season, and they were 12 games under 500. And if anybody said, you guys are going to win the World Series, or the Nats are going to win the World Series, people would roll their eyes, and they did it. They knocked off the Brewers against the most feared closer in the game right now. Guy's name happens to be Hader, works in perfectly with this evening's gospel. And they beat him. They came back against him, and against all odds got into the first round. Then no one thought they'd beat the Dodgers. Dodgers were picked to win the whole thing. They made those LA fans leave that stadium depressed. They were spilling out into the aisles before Howie Kendrick's grand slam even made it over the wall. It was like unbelievable. You look up into the grandstands. I mean, at the crack of the bat, it was like whoosh up the aisles. They were out of that stadium so fast, demoralized, and it was so gratifying. Satisfying for me personally. And then they sweep St. Louis. Then they get to Houston, and they take them all the way to Game 7. It's just been an incredible run, and it's been magical. What can you say? But I'll tell you, for all of it, it comes and it goes, and where we really want to get to is heaven. buddy of mine does prison ministry, and he works with these Franciscan brothers there, and one of the Franciscan brothers told him what happened to him. He was in the infirmary, and a guy called him over in a wheelchair and said, hey man, come here, I want to tell you a story. So he goes over there. This Franciscan brother's got the big beard and the monk thing, cowl and everything, the whole get up. And he goes over there, and the guy says, tells him what happened, that he got shot multiple times in a drug deal that went bad, and he was left for dead on the street. The ambulance came and got him, took him to the hospital. They performed emergency surgery. It was touch and go. He left his body on the operating table and hovered over the surgery at the operating room, watching them working on him, and then he drifted off up through the ceiling, and he was approaching this walled city, and he could hear this chanting in there, this loud chant, louder than all those people in the Astrodome chanting, "Let him in, let him in." And gets to the gate, and there's Jesus waiting for him. The Franciscan brother's like, well, what did he look like? He said, man, he looked like you. And he's like, man, you're not going to believe this, but Jesus is Catholic, man. That's what he said. Jesus told him, look, at the end, we're going to be judged on love. You got some more work to do, my friend. You're going to have to go back. So he goes back, he survives this thing, gets incarcerated, and he's recuperating in the infirmary of the prison now. And he's wheeling around, and all he wants to do is just love everybody. He's like, oh man, all I want to do is love people, man. He's like, this guy got woke. He is on fire. That is a tremendous grace he received. Inspiring image today, that first reading in the book of Revelation, to think of that multitude of our brothers and sisters cheering for us, to be received into that crowd, to come up the ramp into that stadium, to jump around in euphoric joy and exultation on the middle of that field. That's what we're striving for, and this whole World Series thing pales in comparison. It just bears the merest reflection of that experience that awaits us if we stay in the game, keep our head down, keep fighting like the gnats, and get through this game. Stay in this game, because this is the ultimate game.